guys, we are back with another song by Eminem. And which one are we doing today?
Today we are doing so much better. Do you know this?
I don't know.
I feel like you're gonna recognize the chorus at least.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right. Yeah, I don't, like, nothing's ringing a bell.
it's cool. Yeah, he's like kind of singing in the chorus. I've I recall years ago at one point showing you one very funny line in this song, but I don't know if you listened to the rest of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll check it out and we'll break it down.
Great. And this video is sponsored by SeatGeek, which is a website that you can go and buy tickets from for like concerts, sporting events, comedians, virtually anything you can buy a ticket for. And you can use our promo code with Smith. I'm going to put it right here. And that'll save you $20 off of your very first order, which is really great. And definitely check that out. And I'll also put the link in the description. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe and follow us on social media channels and such if you want. Our username's right there.
Cool. You already know this, but I have like a really bad headache, so I might be
Yeah.
a little out of it today.
And as you can tell, I'm really awkward with sponsors for some reason. So like just click it if you want. Oh, and check out our Amazon storefront. It's there too. There's
Yes.
cool stuff in there, I promise. And thank you. Okay.
All right, here we go. So much better.
You fucking pick up the goddamn phone. Bitch, where the fuck were you Tuesday? With who you say? I wasn't at the studio, bitch, what you do, screw Trey? You went there looking for me, boo, that excuse is too lame. Keep playing me, you gonna end up with a huge goose egg. You fake lying slut, you never told me you knew Drake. Can't Lupe, you wanna lose 2 legs? You tryna flip this on me? If I spend more time with you, you say, okay, yeah, and I'm cool, eh? Well, screw you, and I'll be the third person who screwed you today. Oh, for Drake, Lupe, ooh, touche. Well, you do two-face for me. Thought you was my #1 true blue ace, but you ain't. And I can't see you when you make that little boo-boo face. Cause I'm hanging up this phone, boo. You make my fucking Bluetooth thing. You feeling blue too late. Go smirk yourself. You make me wanna smirk and puke blue Kool-Aid. Here's what you say to someone you hate. My life would be so much better if you just dropped dead. I was laying in bed last night thinking, and this thought just popped in my head. And I thought, wouldn't shit just be a lot easier if you dropped dead? I would feel so much better.
Yeah, I know this song.
So you recognize the chorus, right?
Yeah, yeah.
You didn't pick up on the verse though, like that didn't ring a bell, really?
It already came. The
The,
verse that you showed me?
yeah, the one that we listened to.
I don't
Not
I
really.
don't think so.
Yes. No, that's cool. So I mean, it's good that we break it down because then it's more, like a reaction. Okay, so it's oh, I should point out that we're on the Marshall Mathers LP2, and as we're going along, we're pointing at the parallels to the original Marshall Mathers LP.
Yeah.
This beat is actually a sample of the beat from Criminal, which, to be perfectly honest, if I didn't know that, I wouldn't have necessarily picked up on it. But it is. You could Google it. It's a sample of Criminal.
Interesting.
Yes. So they kind of like changed it around a little bit.
Yeah, like maybe they did it backwards.
Something. Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah. So, he starts off, Eminem just talking, says, "You fucking groupie, pick up the goddamn phone." And then he gets into his first verse. And he says, "Bitch, where the fuck were you Tuesday? With who you say? I wasn't at the studio, bitch. What'd you do, Screw Dre? You went there looking for me? Boo, that excuse is too lame. Keep playing with me. You're gonna end up with a huge goose egg."
Okay, so she's like cheating on him.
Well, yeah, so at least at this point he thinks she is, right? And he's like, "Oh, where
Yeah.
were you?" And apparently she's like, "Oh, I was at the studio looking for you." And he's like, "I wasn't there. Would you screw Dre?" Which is so funny. It's like that's where he jumps to.
Yeah. But wait, a goose egg. Keep playing me. You're gonna end up with a huge goose egg.
Yeah, like lump her
Oh, okay. I was imagining an actual goose egg. And I'm like, what the?
up.
I don't get it.
Yeah, so goose egg could also mean zero or nothing, but like I think he's referring to like literally hitting her
Oh,
and
maybe
giving
that's a double entendre. You'll end up with nothing, and you'll also end up with
a
getting
lump.
a lump on your
Yeah,
forehead.
that like looks like a goose egg. That's a good point. That's funny.
I used to always think of it as like a unicorn horn.
Yeah. And then he says, "You fake lying slut. You never told me you knew Drake and Lupe. You want to lose two legs?" So this line is so funny because the way he says it, it's like, okay, you never told me you knew Drake and Lupe. So it's because she knows two other rappers, she's gonna lose both legs. Whereas if it was just that, I mean, that's at least that's the implication I'm getting from it. Where like if she only knew one, she would only lose one leg. But I mean, I could be making that up, but that's how I read that line. And then he says, "You trying to flip this on me? If I spent more time with you, you say." And then he does this funny voice. He says, "Okay, yeah, and I'm cuckoo, eh?" So he's questioning her because he's suspicious of her.
Yeah, and thinks that she's cheating, but we haven't actually gotten any proof yet.
Yes, but then it's like, oh, she's friends with Drake and Lupe. Oh, so you know both of them, which apparently is true, right? And then she's trying to turn it around, like, well, if you would spend more time with me, I wouldn't be hanging out with Drake and Lupe. And then
Mm,
he's like, oh, so you're trying to turn it around on me. And then it's funny because he says, oh, so she's saying, if I spent more time with you, if you spent more time with me, sorry, to Eminem, I wouldn't be hanging out with them. And he's like, okay, oh yeah, and I'm crazy, huh? Meaning like, why would I spend time with you? So it's
ye-
like this weird thing where he's angry that she's like fucking around, but he also like hates her. Do you know what I mean?
Or he's saying that she's crazy for thinking that. Like, oh, so like I don't hang out with you for 1 minute, so now you're hanging out with other rappers?
Yeah, that's
Like, are you
true.
crazy?
Yeah, that's a good point. Then he says, well, screw you. And I'd be the third person who screwed you today. And he says, oh, four. Dre, Drake, Lupe. Ooh, touche. So it's funny. He literally does the screw you as like, go fuck yourself. But then he takes it
Yeah.
literal. He's like, I'd be the third person to screw you today. And then, oh, four. Dre, Drake, Lupe. And then him.
And then that would actually result in her losing all of her limbs, right?
Yeah, right. Arms and legs. Then he says touche, which is, like, I actually don't know the exact translation of the word touche.
Usually, like if you're in a fight and like I hit you and then like you hit me, then it really hurt. And I'm like, oh, touche. Like, nice one.
So yeah, people they also use it like rhetorically, like if like I say something to
Yeah,
you
like you
and
hurt
then
me. Like
well
you take a hard jab at me.
well no, but if you say something back, you're like, oh, touche, like, oh, we're both going at each other now. It's like usually in like a response kind of.
I always thought it was kind of like
You wanna
respecting what they just said, even though you're
you
fighting.
wanna
You know what
Google
I'm
it
saying?
real
Like
quick?
if I'm like, fuck you, and you're like, you're the C word, I'm like, touche.
So this is
Okay.
one of those things where like I know the meaning, but like I never bothered to
So it's used as an acknowledgement during a discussion of a good or clever point made at one's
yeah.
expense by another person. So it's like,
What's
if you're just like impressed with, or if they had a good comeback, even though you're fighting, you're like,
yeah.
that's not bad.
Does it say the literal translation? Because that's French, I believe, right? Or is that an actual English word? Whatever. Either way, while you're looking.
It's French and it means, um, so it either means you hit me with the tip of your foil if you're fencing, or wow, that was the perfect retort. You made a really good
Yeah,
point.
that sounds like somebody made that up. Okay, whatever. Whatever. We all know what touche means. I was just curious of the actual exact definition. So he says, ooh, touche, you were too two-faced for me. Thought you was my number one true blue ace, but you ain't.
What's a true blue ace?
So if you're true blue, it means like
Like you're true.
yeah, you're ride or die. Yeah, so it's like a
Oh, okay. I thought it
phrase.
was like a collect, like a thing. I don't know.
It's like a common phrase, like, oh, you're true blue ace, like you're my number one ace, true blue, true to me. You know what I mean? So like best friend, like you ride or die. It means.
Okay.
So it's funny. He says you were two face TWO, and
Hmm.
then thought you was my number one. So he's doing this
Number
yeah, this
scheme.
tiny little number thing, and then true blue ace, but
Oh,
you
and
ain't.
number four up there.
Oh, true. I didn't even think
Yeah.
about that. Good point.
Oh, and third.
Third, you're right. There's a few numbers there. I didn't even pick up on
There
all
might
that.
even be another.
Could be. He says, but you ain't. And I can't see you when you make that widow boo-boo face because I'm hanging up this phone, boo. You make my fucking Bluetooth ache.
It's a funny line.
So he says, and I can't see you when you make that little boo-boo face. So I don't know if she's like trying to make him feel bad. Do you know
Like
what I mean?
pouty, like,
Yeah,
"Meh,
I think that's what she's doing. And he's
meh,
saying,
meh."
I can't see it because I'm hanging up this phone, right?
And because you're on the phone at all, how
Well,
can you
it could
see
be like a
it?
FaceTime thing, maybe.
What year was this?
2013.
Was that a thing?
Yeah, it was.
I don't fucking remember.
But then, yes, he does. I'm hanging up this phone, boo. You make my fucking Bluetooth ache.
Just funny.
Yes, so Bluetooth, obviously, for phone calls, and then
Yeah.
it's a play on like a tooth, the word toothache. And then he says, you're feeling blue? Too late. Go smurf yourself. You make me want to smurf and puke blue Kool-Aid. Here's what you say to someone you hate. So the Smurf saying it's like
Like,
instead
go
of
fuck
fuck.
yourself.
Yeah, I forget. Did they actually do that in the Smurf show?
They like smurf. They would say like Smurf, like Smurf.
There was some TV show that
Like they would do that. I just don't really remember.
there was like a cartoon or something that was making fun of where they were literally using Smurf instead of fucking. They're like, oh, Smurf, yeah. You know what I mean? Like I
Yeah,
forget what show
they
it
would do
was.
that not with bad words, but like yeah, they would like replace the word Smurf with other words.
Yeah, so he says blue a few times. He does the Bluetooth, and then he says, "Are you feeling blue?" And then because he's doing all the blues, he says, "Go smurf yourself instead of fuck
Because
yourself."
they're blue.
And then it says, "You make me want to smurf and puke." I think it's supposed to be. It makes you make me want to smurfin puke. You know what I mean?
Like
Like fucking
fucking.
puke blue Kool-Aid. And then he does blue again. And then here's what you say to someone you hate.
When I was really little, I threw up blue Gatorade all over my bed.
That's funny.
And back then, like anytime I would throw up, I would start crying immediately, which I think like most kids would do. But this was just so cool to me because it was just straight blue all over my bed. And I was just
Yeah,
like, whoa.
I've thrown up
It's like
Gatorade
that
before.
is really cool.
Yeah, it is funny.
And then I went and got my mom.
So, yeah, I've definitely had that happen before. So he says, "Here's what you say to someone you hate," and then the chorus picks up, and he says, "My life would be so much better if you just dropped dead. I was laying in bed last night thinking, and this thought just popped in my head,
So he just fucking hates her.
and I thought, wouldn't shit just be a lot easier if you dropped dead? I would feel so much better." Self-explanatory. Like, oh, my life would be maybe I don't want to kill you myself, but
If you just like died, that would be
my
nice.
life would be so much easier if you just died.
Haven't we thought that about someone
Of
at some
course.
point or another?
Of course. All right, here we go. Pick it up.
Wouldn't shit just be a lot easier if you dropped dead? I would feel so much better. They got his relapse. This bitch pushed me over the brink. Hop on the freeway, trying to get some time alone and just think. Till the cops pulled me over, but they let me go. Cause I told them I'm only driving drunk. Cause that bitch told me to drink. I'm back on my fuck hoes with a whole new hatred for bloods. But pious, I hate all bitches the same, baby. Come on. Excuse the pun, but bitch is such a broad statement. And I'm channeling my anger through every single station it's on. Cause a woman broke my heart. I say heart. Cause she ripped it into parts and threw it in the garbage. Who you think you are? Bitch, guess it's time for me to get the dust off and pick myself up off the carpet. But I'll never say the L word again. I love lesbian. I hope you hear this song and go into a cardiac arrest. My life would be so much better. My life would be so much better if you just dropped dead. I was laying in bed last night thinking, and this thought just popped in my head. And I thought, wouldn't shit just be a lot easier if you dropped dead? I would feel so much better. Cause you told me you love me forever. Bitch, that was a lie. I never wanted someone to die. So bad in my fucking life. But fuck it, there's other fish in the sea.
Okay. We're gonna have to Sorry.
Where are we going?
Fucking up this window. We're gonna actually have to play that last little bridge part again when we go into the third verse because he actually starts a scheme in the bridge and
Okay.
carries it into the third verse, which is actually cool. All right, so verse number 2. He says, "Think I just relapsed. This bitch pushed me over the brink. Hop on the freeway, trying to get some time alone and just think, till the cops pulled me over, but they let me go 'cause I told them I'm only driving drunk 'cause that bitch drove me to drink."
That's a good
I
line.
love that
It's a
fucking
really
line.
good
Yeah,
line.
it's incredible.
Oh wait, which was the line that you point that I knew?
The lesbian one.
Oh, that. Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
We didn't hear that in the first part though. So
It was in the verse we just did in the second one.
no, I know, but after we went through the first part of the
Oh,
song, you asked me if I remembered, and I was like,
oh
I
no,
didn't
no. I
recognize
would
it.
yeah, no, I didn't mean like I
Like it
didn't
was
mean
in
that we
that
heard it.
part.
Yeah, I just
Okay.
meant in this song
Yeah,
in
no, I remember
general.
that. That's
Yeah.
why I laughed. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, I remember that.
Oh my
It's
God.
very funny. Yeah, that's the line I showed you though. So yeah, he's saying he relapsed. Obviously, he's sober. She pushed him over the brink, and then he's on the freeway just thinking, and the cops pull him over because he's drunk. And then the obvious awesome line, "I told him I'm only driving drunk because that bitch drove me to drink."
And they let him go. They're like, it's a valid reason.
So
Like,
yeah,
you're free to
yeah,
go.
literally driving drunk, and then drove me, made him drink because she's so crazy or whatever. Awesome line. Then he says, "I'm back on my fuck hose."
See, that line throws me off because I'm like, what's a fucko? And then I'm like, oh, there should be like a comma there.
Or like quotes around.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? My fuck
something like
hose.
that.
Yeah. He says, "I'm back on my fuck hose with a whole new hatred for blondes." Then he
Hey,
then he says, "But bias, I hate all bitches the same, baby. Come on." So yeah, I mean, what
his
was
daughter's blonde.
was it Kim? I think Kim was blonde, right?
Yeah, she's blonde.
So yeah, so he's saying, he hates blondes, but he's like, "But don't think I'm biased because I hate them all."
Don't hate blondes.
Then he
And that's
says,
not fair because most people aren't like me. My hair is naturally blonde.
yeah.
Like 90% of you other people dye it. There's nothing I could do about this. If I dye it brown, it's going to grow in blonde. It's going to look really weird. So I'm just like this forever. So
Yeah.
don't hate me.
Funny. So yes, I hate all bitches the same, baby. Come on. He says, "Excuse the pun, but bitch is such a broad statement, and I'm channeling my anger through every single station that's on." So I love that pun line. So he's dissing, he's calling them hoes, bitches. Then he says, "Excuse the pun, but bitch is such a broad word." So like some people you could use broads or another name for women. So
Hmm.
he says, "But bitch is such a broad word," meaning like it's wide. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
like
It
a
can
dog, female dog.
broad.
Oh, yeah. But like
That's
double entendre.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. So bitch is such a broad word, meaning like it's a broad word, meaning it can bitch can mean a lot of things, but also
Like a woman
broad
word.
itself is another word for woman.
Yeah.
A typically
Broads.
like a negative one.
I know. No, sometimes people refer to broads in a positive way. You don't really hear it that often anymore. We should bring it back.
Well, it's
Broads.
because they take offense to it. That's why.
Yeah, you
It's not.
usually hear like old men referring to like old women as broads, which
Yeah,
is like really funny.
exactly.
Like, look at all
Um,
those bras, and they're like, I'm playing bingo, fuck off.
yeah. And then he says, I'm channeling my anger through every single station that's on." So like, so it's funny, the channeling my anger. So he's literally focusing, right? He's putting his anger through all them, but also channel and every single station are like, station channel. They're like kind of the same thing.
Yeah, like a
Um,
radio. Oh, and like a broadcast.
yeah,
It's
that's
a
true.
radio scheme.
And then he says, I loved it. So this is the best part. So he says, "'Cause a woman broke my heart, art. I say her art, 'cause she ripped it into pot arts and threw it in the garbage."
That's a good one.
So yeah, he literally breaks up the word because it's two parts. She broke his heart and then does the parts in two words, threw it in the garbage. "Who do you think you are, bitch? Guess it's time for me to get the dust off and pick myself up off the carpet." So yeah, he's getting back out there. He was heartbroken, but he's gonna get the dust off, go play the field. But I'll never say the L word again. I lesbian, which he screams, which is so funny. So he's literally incapable of saying the word love. So and when he tries, he screams lesbian. And then he says, I hope you hear the song and go into a cardiac arrest. My life would be so much better if you just. All right. And then it goes into the chorus again and then into the bridge, which is because you told me you love me forever. Bitch, that was a lie. Now I never wanted someone to die so bad in my fucking life, but fuck it, there's other fish in the sea. So I'm actually going to play this part because, as I mentioned, this bridge carries into the scheme at the beginning of the third verse. So we'll play the rest of the song out here.
Cause you told me you love me forever. Bitch, that was a lie. I never wanted someone to die. So bad in my fucking life. But fuck it, there's other fish in the sea. And I'ma have a whale of a time being a single sailor for the night. Bitch, on a scale of 1 to 10, shit, I must be the holy grailer. Catch this hoe, I got an Oscar attached to my fucking name. I might hit the club, find a chick that's tailor made for me, say fuck it, kick some shots, pack it, hammer and nail her. These bitches tryna get attached, but they're failing to latch onto the tail of my bumper. They're scratching at the back of my trailer like I'm itching to get hitched. Yeah, I'm rich as a bitch, but bitches ain't shit. I'd rather leave a bitch in a ditch. Did you complain when you listen to this, but you still throw yourself at me? That's what I call pitching a bitch. That's why I'm swinging at these chicks on sight. Long as I got a bat and 2 balls, it's foul, but my dick's on strike. So all that love shit is null and void. Bitch, I'm a Troy. Boy, Cupid stupid wasn't for blowjobs, you'd be unemployed. Boy, yoy, yoy, man, oh man, your boys, getting sick of these girls, oink, 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 you fucking pigs, all your good boys, doink, doink, doink. I got 99 problems and a bitch ain't one. She's all 99 of them, I need a machine gun, I take them all out. I hope you hear this song and go into a cardiac arrest, have a heart attack and just drop dead, and I'ma throw a fucking party after this. Cause yes, my life would be so much better if you just dropped dead. I had you. I was laying in bed last night thinking, and this thought just popped in my head. And I thought, wouldn't shit just be a lot easier if you dropped dead? Then I would feel so much, much better. I'm just playing, bitch. You know I love you.
Okay. Playing all over again. I fucking love it. It's so funny, man.
Yeah, it's really good. And he has a lot of good one-liners at the end.
There's a lot scattered throughout
Yeah.
this song. There's some like really good shit in here, and it's funny because you listen to it and you're like, oh, it's another one of his silly but also angry songs, but like it's like skillfully done, like very skillfully done.
Yeah, and after you said it was from Criminal, I can hear it
Oh
now.
yeah,
It's like a little different, but like it's like very like it's recognizable.
yeah. So I agree. The same thing with me. But if I didn't see that, I don't know when I would have picked up on it. Do you know what I mean? So, okay, we did the
This part.
bridge. So yeah, I'll just so
Just go from like the last line.
the but fuck it, there's other fish in the
But
sea.
fuck
But
it.
fuck it, yeah. There's other fish in the sea. So the fish in the sea. And he says, and I'ma have a whale of a time being a single sailor for the night. Bitch, on a scale of 1 to 10, shit, I must be the holy grailer of catches, ho. I got an Oscar attached to my fucking name, and then Dela, you hear in the back. So there's other fish in the sea,
Yes.
whale of a
Like
time,
sailor.
sailor, and then scale, kind of like a
1 to
catching,
10.
and then catches again. So all
Yeah.
this fishing scheme shit.
But there's also a little scale scheme with scale and one. Well, scale up. Not
Yeah,
really.
but I get what you mean. And he says, I on a scale of 1 to 10, I must be the Holy Grail. So he's off the charts, right? And he says, of catches, which is goes back to the fish scheme. And he says, I got an Oscar attached to my fucking name. So he won an Oscar for Lose Yourself, best song or whatever. And then you hear the ad lib of De La, Oscar De La Hoya, the boxer.
Oh.
So I got an Oscar attached to my name, Oscar De
They
La Hoya.
spelled it wrong.
Yeah, they did. It's
So
wrong.
I was like, who's Dela?
Yeah, De La Hoya is
Yeah. Like
the
Dela.
De La. Yes. I don't know if that's two. I think it's 2 words.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then he says,
Hoya.
yeah. Then he says, I might hit the club, find a chick that's Taylor, made for me, say fuck it, kick some shots back, get hammered, and nail her. So it's an awesome little scheme here too.
Yeah, and that's also kind of like a double entendre, like Taylor, like her name could be Taylor,
Yeah, so tailor made for me. So
like custom made or Taylor, like her name is Taylor.
yeah, so then the kicking the shots back, he's a say fuck it, kick the shots back. Obviously he's sober. He says get hammered and nail her. So obviously hammer, drinking, and nail her have sex, but hammer and nail. Tailors don't necessarily use hammers and nails, you know what I mean? They're typically doing like
Yeah.
stuff, but I kind of for some reason in my head,
Oh,
I
and
feel like
hit also goes with hammer and nail.
yeah, for sure. And then he says, these bitches trying to get attached, but they're failing to latch onto the tail of my bumper. They're scratching at the back of my trailer like I'm itching to get hitched. Yeah, I'm rich as a bitch.
So it's like a trailer scheme. So it goes latch, bumper, trailer, hitch.
Trying to get attached. It's the whole fucking thing. So the bitches are trying to get attached, meaning like, oh, Eminem, the girls want to have a relationship. Yeah. And he says, but they're failing to latch onto the tail of my bumper. So
they can't catch him.
Yes. And then so we have attached, latch, bumper. They're scratching at the back of my trailer, which with Eminem you could take it either way, meaning like his movie trailer or like trailer
his
park.
actual trailer.
Well, like trailer park, you know, used to have. So then there's another little thing here. So they're scratching at the back of my trailer like I'm itching to get hitched.
Oh, because scratching and itching and then hitched. You like hitch
trailer
onto something and then itching to get married.
Yes. So it's fucking crazy. That little section. He changes his voice. He like drops it down really low. He almost whispers. It's kind of hard to hear him if you're not listening. But yeah, this whole trailer, hitch, attach scheme is fucking nuts.
Yeah.
And then he says, yeah, I'm rich as a bitch, but bitches ain't shit. I'd rather leave a bitch in a ditch. Bitch, you complain when you listen to this, but you still throw yourself at me. That's what I call pitching a bitch. So, yeah, the line before, I'd rather leave a bitch in a ditch. And he says, you complain when you listen to this, so, oh, you don't like his content, yet in real life, those same women are throwing themselves at him. And he says, that's what I call pitching a bitch.
Because you're the bitch and you're throwing yourself at me like in a baseball pitch.
Yeah, so and then so that's a phrase like pitching a bitch is like kind of like pitching a fit, you know what I mean? It's like another pitching a bitch is like another common phrase for that. And then, like you just pointed out, he introduces this baseball scheme. So throw yourself at me, pitching a bitch. That's why I'm swinging at these chicks on sight. So swinging like a baseball bat. Long as I got a bat and two balls. So
more baseball.
Dick and balls. Penis. Yeah. And then he says, it's foul.
So like bad, but also like a foul when you hit the ball out of bounds.
Yes. But my dick's on strike.
So he's not having sex.
Yes, and then the strike carries with the rest of it. So it's so crazy that it's two sentences.
Yeah, it's
and
really
there's
good.
So many fucking references in there. And then he says, so all that love shit is null and void.
So like non-existent.
Bitch, I'm a droid. Then you hear the computer sound effect.
Robot.
Yeah, so he's emotionless. Then he says, I avoid Cupid. Stupid. If it wasn't for blowjobs, you'd be unemployed.
Ouch.
So obviously, blowjobs, the job portion is like unemployed. Then he says, oi, I love this part. This is so simple, but it's so good. Oi, oi, oi. Man, oh man. Your boys getting sick of these girls. Oink, oink, oink. You fucking pigs. All you're good for is doink, doink, doink.
So like, all you girls suck and sick of you, and all you're good for is sex.
Yeah.
Oh, and you're
you
pigs.
Yes. Which is so funny. And then he says, I got 99 problems and a bitch ain't one. She's all 99 of them. I need a machine gun. So he says machine gun to try to make it rhyme there. Then he says, I'll take them all out. I hope you hear the song and go into a cardiac arrest, have a heart attack, and just drop dead. And I'm going to throw a fucking party after this, because yes. And then it goes back
to the chorus.
Into the chorus. And then he leaves us with one of his common things at the end of the song when he says some fucked up shit. He says, I'm just playing bitch. You know I love you. So it's funny because he's done like I'm just playing ladies, I'm just playing America,
As it's
just
just the one bitch that the song's
I'm
about.
just playing bitch, you know I love you. All right, so much better.
So it's really good. You could definitely see like as his rap schemes get better and he like puts in more of like the one-liners and like the double entendres into the song, like more and more of it. Like this one definitely has a lot, like
Yeah,
more than the past,
yes,
for
I
sure.
I agree. I think this is this so this album has Rap God, and I feel like this set off the so I
Mhm.
mean technically Relapse and Recovery set off the second half of his career, but like at this point, in my opinion, he's like took this to a whole nother level with this
Yeah.
album, and he hasn't looked back. He's like been there from then on with the complex fucking
Yeah,
rhyme
for
schemes.
sure.
It's very impressive. It's awesome. This I like the way this song sounds. It's like fun. It's silly. You know what I mean? He's obviously being he's his wild, fucking provocative self,
Yeah.
saying shit to piss people off, but it's at the same time it's like fun. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. It's a really good song.
Yeah, it's
And
very
the beat's really cool.
skillfully done.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So yeah.
right.
Check out SeatGeek, use our promo code for $20 off your first purchase. Check out our Amazon storefront and like and subscribe. And we'll see you guys tomorrow.
See you. Bye.
Bye.